Hi, this is Ashley with Embroidery Island, and today I am doing a requested tutorial on our design, which is called the Melting Smiley. It's an applique design, and if you're new to applique, sometimes it can be a little confusing, but it actually is very easy, and I'm going to show you the steps with this simple design. So I've already gotten my hoop on my machine, my design loaded in my machine. I'm using a Janome 500E. And I'm using 2 layers of a medium weight tear away stabilizer. So it's very important to make sure you use some stabilizer when you're doing embroidery. And so I've got black thread in my bobbin, and I've got black thread loaded on top as well. This design with the smiley only has 1 thread color, and that's the outline for the smiley. So I'm going to just tell it to begin. Now this first step is going to do a placement stitch for our applique fabric. So let's see how it goes. Alright, so now I'm going to trim away this little thread right here. And I'm going to place my fabric on. So that stitch was merely to show you where to place your fabric. Okay, so I'm going to make my smiley yellow. So I've gone ahead and got this yellow fabric ready, and I've ironed it a bit so it's nice and flat. Now I can tell it to go. This next step is just to tack down the yellow fabric. So I'm going to say start. Want to stop that and trim if you have any tails, you always want to go ahead and trim that so your machine doesn't get stuck. Never trim it right while it's running though, always tell it to stop. Alright, and you can basically see it did the exact same thing that it just did, but it just tacked down the fabric this time. So now what I can do is I have these are called a duckbill embroidery scissor. You can use these to remove the extra fabric around. You'll definitely want to invest in some good sharp little scissors if you're going to be doing a lot of applique. So I'm going to just go ahead and remove the large sections here. Get that out of the way. Alright, and then you can also take your hoop off of the arm. Don't unhoop it from the hoop itself, but you can remove it from the arm so that you can maneuver this better. Let me adjust my camera here so that it's easier to trim away your fabric, because you want to get as close as possible. And that's what you can do with these duckbill scissors. Mine are Tula Pinks. I'm a big Tula Pink fan. If you don't know who she is, she's a fantastic fabric designer, among other things, but she just makes really awesome stuff, and this is her line of scissors. So as you can see, I am just going around and getting as close as possible, because the next step is going to actually go around and fill in the over the top of this with a satin zigzag type stitch. Okay, so that will you want it to be close so that everything gets sealed in that. Now some of these tiny areas will be a little difficult, but what you can do is get a pair of snips like this, and those can easily get in here. Just take your time and make sure you're not going to get any of the thread. You don't want to cut your design, through your design there. And just do the best you can. I also have this design if you don't want to go through the trouble of doing it with the applique. I have it as a fill design, so it would all be thread. The cool thing about applique though is, you know, you could always add in like a patterned fabric here or something that would make it a little more fun. And of course you can use whatever colors you want. You can make your smiley pink, red, whatever. As you're doing this, make sure, if you can, to leave this, see how I'm leaving it flat on my machine bed, and I'm not really handling the hoop too much. You don't want to do anything that would get your hoop out of alignment. So you don't want, what I mean by that is you don't want your fabric shifting inside the hoop, because, you know, then you go to do the next step and it's not aligned anymore because you've moved where the fabric was. So just be really careful of that. Tula Pink's line also makes, I have the right-handed version on everything, but they also make left-handed versions if you're a lefty, which is great. And they're just this pretty rainbow color. I don't know, those kind of things are important to me. I like things that are cute. Okay. Alright, just going back and making sure, and then seeing if I have anywhere else that I might have missed. Kind of blow that extra stuff out of there. Alright, I think I've done about as best as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and get it back on the hoop. Alright, so now it's going to do that cool zigzag going around. Tell it to stop and trim this little guy so it doesn't get tangled up. Wasn't in frame, sorry. I'm definitely not a professional YouTuber by any means. Smiley's face itself, the eyes and mouth, and it is. I'm going to go ahead and stop so I can trim off. That's a very small piece there, but I don't want it being harder to trim later, so just going to go ahead and trim that guy. Okay, the next eye. Get that little thread there. Get that out of the way. Doing the mouth, so you can see that's basically it. Once it's done with the mouth, any remaining little, like I can see a little bit of fuzzies right here that I can go up around and trim those, but it'll be a great little applique. This can be incorporated into a quilt box. You can do it on, denim jackets, or make it into almost like a patch you can sew onto something else. But they're just fun ways to incorporate patterned fabric instead of doing fill stitches. Thanks for watching. Sorry it's long. I don't know how to edit videos yet. Sorry about that. Take care.